Good morning. It is currently 6:24 a.m. on Monday, March 16th, 2015. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I have a crick in my neck. Ow. I also just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Yesterday was a bit of a sick day where I didn't hold myself accountable for very much. I did end up playing a few hours of Civilization Beyond Earth with my friend Lee. I did end up recording, talking about Survivor Live with Mike for the third episode of Survivor Worlds Apart, so that should be up. The YouTube version should be up right now as we speak. I'll try to get the audio version up tonight. So I know that I did things, but those two things together only account for maybe 5 hours of yesterday, and I swear I couldn't tell you what else I did all day yesterday. I slept a little bit. I think I did try to do at least a little bit of writing. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I also apparently slept funny. What I thought I would talk about today, though, is I was just perusing the headlines on boingboing.net, and they had a link on YouTube to the music video for the 1985 song from Dead or Alive, You Spin Me Around, in parentheses, like a record. I certainly know this song, but I was never much into watching music videos. I grew up during the 80s, but I was still a kid in the 80s. I was 12 in 1990, so I remember the 80s, and I have a great fondness for 1980s music. In fact, I liked that song in particular quite a bit, but I had never seen the music video before. And watching it, I swear to me, if I swear to me, is that right? Swear to God. Ha! Swear to me! Anyway, the point is, if someone had asked me, is this the real music video from the 80s? Or is this a parody? I would have said it's the parody in a heartbeat. Likewise, it reminds me the same way of I wanted the song You're the Best from Karate Kid soundtrack. But iTunes knows what they're doing, so they made it so that you only get that song if you buy the whole album. It's probably not iTunes, it's probably whoever actually owns the rights to that. But the point is, they know what they're doing because nobody would ever buy any of the other songs on that, if not for having to buy the whole album to get that one song. And so all of the other songs on that album are really like, it's the same way. Like if someone had asked me, is this a parody 1980s movie sound-alike sort of song, or is it a real song from the soundtrack? And I would have said they were the parody, probably, with most of them. I think if you played all of them for me, I'd start to get the idea, the pattern, and figure out it's a trick question. But the point is, I'm familiar with the concept of the uncanny valley when it comes to things like robots and androids. The idea being that if you have something that really doesn't look at all like a person, say like R2-D2, it can be very cute. We can have great affection for it. And then if you make it look more and more like a human, say to C-3PO, we can still have lots of affection for it. But it will get to a point when it looks very close to human but still not quite right, that it can sometimes flip a sort of switch in our brain and make it very uncomfortable or upsetting to look at. And a case in point, I think, would be when people talked about the Polar Express and how all the computer animated characters in that had like dead, lifeless eyes, and it was really kind of creepy for them. I personally think that was a little bit overrated. That whole thing was more to it. But I guess what I'm really trying to get at, and I'm already at 5 minutes, is when there are things adjacent to the stuff you have nostalgia for. Like, I know that song, You Spin Me Round, and I love it, but I'd never seen the music video, and watching it made me feel like it was some transmission from an alien planet, or more likely something that someone with too much time on their hands today had made as a joke. And yet the song itself feels perfectly normal and natural to me. And I suspect that if I had never heard the song, I would have thought about it the same way. Like, it would have felt like, well, surely that's like a joke. I don't know, maybe that song's pretty good. So maybe but so I guess that's the question. Maybe I'll just put it all to you guys. What do you guys think about that? Is there an uncanny valley for nostalgia? You know, you might dearly love something from your childhood, but if you expanded that focus to all of the things that were around it, would those things feel this nostalgic in the same way, or would those feel alien and strange? I bet they will feel alien and strange. That certainly seems to be how it works for me. Anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.